Our next witness is Mr. Roger Bundridge. See, I knew I was going to get it wrong, and it's kind of a tongue twister. Roger Bundridge. Bundridge.
Yes.
See, I kept putting another R in there. That's my problem.
That's fine.
Roger Bundridge. He is the general manager of Northwest Cell based in Maryville, Missouri. I did say that correct, yes?
Yes.
Is it Missouri to you or Missouri?
I use Missouri.
And the Maryville, not, okay.
It's Maryville, yes.
It depends on where you are. I've learned
That's
this.
right.
Okay. As he has held this position for the past 10 years, where he has helped to grow from 12 to 29 employees. He is testifying on behalf of the Rural Cellular Association. Welcome, Mr. Bundridge.
Thank you, Chair.
I'm going to get it right by the end of this. So thank you for your testimony, and please proceed.
Chairwoman Elmers, Ranking Member Richmond, and members of the subcommittee, thank you for the opportunity to be here today. My name is Roger Bundridge, and I'm the General Manager for Northwest Cell. Northwest Cell is headquartered in Maryville, Missouri, and provides mobile voice and broadband services to customers in 5 counties. Northwest Cell understands small business operations because we are a small business with 29 employees, 1 retail location, 11 agent locations. We like to say that we are big enough to serve you, but small enough to know you. I also serve on the Board of Directors for the Rural Cellular Association, which represents over 100 competitive wireless carriers just like Northwest Cell. The areas that we serve are primarily rural, and we take pride in our commitment and support of these communities. Smaller rural and regional wireless providers connect Americans throughout their communities, which allow them to innovate and compete. For example, I recently met with a group of farmers that will utilize our mobile broadband service along with iPads to control and maximize planting and harvesting. Northwest Cell also provides broadband data cards to the Nottoway County Sheriff's Department so the officers can access critical databases in real time. Northwest Cell is the only company in our market that is capable of providing wireless 3G broadband service in both examples. In order to be able to continue to serve rural America, Northwest Cell and other competitive wireless carriers have 4 critical needs. 1, sufficient and predictable service through the new universal service mechanisms. 2, access to usable spectrum. 3, access to cutting-edge devices. And 4, reasonable terms and conditions for roaming service. First, like most of the RCA members, Northwest Cell currently receives high-cost support through universal service funding to construct, maintain, and upgrade high-quality wireless networks at affordable prices in rural areas. Also, like many RCA members, Northwest Cell stands to lose all or a substantial portion of this funding as a result of the FCC's recent USF reform efforts. As part of these efforts, the FCC is working to establish the Mobility Fund to provide support for mobile wireless services. Unfortunately, the $400 million in annual non-tribal support budgeted for the ongoing Mobility Fund will not be sufficient to provide continued expansion. The FCC must allocate additional funding. In addition to these critical that the funding be distributed based on a forward-looking cost model rather than a single winner reverse auction. The use of reverse auction methodology will make it virtually impossible for a small business to compete for funding for mobile broadband. Second, increased consumer adoption of mobile services and the skyrocketing use of high-speed data strains the carrier spectrum holdings. As capacity is exhausted, a carrier must acquire additional license either through the FCC auction or on the secondary market. The FCC's authority to auction spectrum expires this year, and it is important that Congress extends this authority. In doing so, Congress must preserve the FCC's flexibility to structure the auctions and license services in a manner that promotes competition and allows small businesses to participate. Third, carriers have difficulties accessing the latest and greatest devices. Exclusivity agreements between device manufacturers and the largest carriers have limited the number of devices available to small carriers. Where devices will only work on a specific slice of spectrum, we need devices to continue to expand our service. Finally, roaming is critical to connectivity. Customers expect their devices to work wherever they are. With the FCC's data roaming order last year, carriers are required to offer roaming for both voice and data services at fair and reasonable rates. The order is being challenged in court, and the smaller and regional carriers may be unable to provide their customers with broadband roaming on the larger carriers' networks. Despite these challenges, Northwest Cell and the wireless carriers like us play a critical role in the market. For us to remain competitive in an increasingly consolidated industry and to continue to expand service to difficult-to-serve areas, I strongly urge you to support the policies at the FCC and in Congress that level the playing field and allow smaller carriers to grow. One, with sufficient and predictable universal service support for mobile broadband. Two, for competitive access to spectrum. Three, roaming on commercially reasonable rates. And four, to offer cutting-edge devices. Thank you again for the opportunity to participate today.